You know, look at how dark it still is. It's like 8:30 in the morning. It's still so dark that I don't know. I mean, I know that we're living in the Truman Show. It just reminds me so much of that part where he's trying to escape, and Ed Harris is in there. Cue the sun, or whatever. You know, bring the sun up in the middle of the night, and all the people down there all look up like, "What's happening?" I feel like that's just our life. You know, that's being controlled, in that we've all participated, we've all taken our part, we've allowed this to happen, and they outsmarted us. Always, they were outsmarting us because we were giving it to them. We didn't really understand. But also these people are so highly sophisticated. They've got technology. They've got years of understanding. I mean, they keep us dying all the time. You know, because the faster they can keep us dying and confused and stuff, and then plus their reincarnation cycle of just bullying people back in, to get back in there, you got work to do. And so a soul, if a soul comes in and it's just struggling and struggling and struggling, and it's not focusing on itself, it's not focusing on its healing, then, it's learning a lot of different things. Like, a lot of things happen in life to teach you things. And, some of the things you don't learn until you die and you go in for your life review. Then you see it more clearly. A lot of things you don't learn while you're here. But if they keep it short and keep it stress, look at how long they can keep you just recycle, recycle, recycle. There's no freaking accident that they even came up with recycling products, because they recycle humans. They recycle this as a process for them. It's like they got their little planet and they took control, and then they took control of the people and kept them in this little, in this little hamster wheel. Go, 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 go. Chase them, whatever they tell you to chase. It's a piece of paper. It's always a piece of paper. Whether it's a diploma, award, certificate, money, it's all just paper. And it's paper from them. It's important. We got to get that paper. It's like, we participated because if it is that we just thought that was all there was, that was because we're disconnected from our higher self. Because when you connect to your higher self begins to show you the holes in the whole system. It shows you their weaknesses. It shows you what's going on behind the scenes. You start seeing things a lot more clearly. Doesn't mean you see everything. Like, there's still so much stuff that I'm waiting, just like everybody else, for disclosure. I mean, I know a lot of stuff. I think it's gonna be hard to surprise me because I've spent so much time looking into it, and it has so much to do with reincarnation. It has so much to do with aliens and monsters and all of this stuff. The village just I don't even know if he even did that on purpose, but it just shows how the community of this planet is even created. And I mean, a spoiler alert, if you haven't seen The Village, go watch it. It's still, it's profound no matter what. I mean, even in a spoiler alert, it should sink into you. What the hell is happening? But even in the end, where the village is its own contained place, which this is, its own contained place, and all based on fear to control. But then when somebody goes out and they see there's a world outside of that, that is what is happening right now, is this controlled, contained world. People are plugged into it. Consciousness is, just trying to survive, just trying to understand what it is, and plugged into the system. And the system begins to tell it what it wants it to believe, that isn't based on fact, isn't based on truth. And even with their history, stuff just gets creepier and creepier when you start really realizing about how much they've lied about history, and then you start being like how long has this been going on? Like, what? There's some creepy stuff, man. But so when consciousness is plugged into that system, it's reliant on it. It's just trying to be, that it's trying to have this back and forth with this system. It doesn't realize that this system is out of balance. The system is just taking and taking. And the people get more and more drained, more and more hopeless, more and more just beat down, just feeling like, what is the point of this? And they'll tell you, oh, well, it's good so you can go to heaven. Just do your part so you can go to heaven. But they can never get to heaven. All they do is go back and see like what a shitty job they did and get sent right back in here, because they're in this reincarnation recycle. And for consciousness to become aware, so that you were to go out, like you were in this scenario, consciousness is becoming aware of itself in life. So when you were to go and you were to transition and somebody would say, hey, you did a bad job, you go, fuck off. I did a fine job. You can just move on, because you know who you are. You can't be tricked. They're tricking people. So then you are empowered. Then you're ascending, right? Because then you've left the system. You've removed yourself. You no longer are dependent on it. You see through it. So then you have this ability to transform yourself. It is when you transition out of this reality into another reality, you can't be tricked and manipulated, because you know and you understand. You see who they are. You understand who they are. And you are a sovereign being, so you can pull free from their system. And, even more with what is happening is because it is because that would have been on every soul throughout life after life after life, to get to that point, to say, no, and to pull free from them. And who knows how long they've been doing this, and what's going on here is it's very complex. But when you do start seeing through, then you start seeing that outside of this village, there is this whole world that is happening. This whole world that is what they told you was supernatural. It didn't exist. It was not a part of us. That was only crazy people. I've been one of those crazy people for a long time. And I think that a lot of people who are on medicine for schizophrenia and stuff is on medicine for schizophrenia just because they are tapped into that other reality. And they talk about it and people are like, nope, you're crazy. And then they give them the medication to turn that down, just like they give us fluoride and other, no telling what all chemicals, to silence that in us, to silence our awakening, to silence our inner guidance from keeping us from waking up. Because then they can get a hold of your ego. They can, just have my fingernail across this couch. Stella's got my chair, so I got used to this, sitting on this couch. She's in quite the mood. So, anyways, where was I? I don't remember. But anyway, so this world is so much supernatural. Like, there's so much life on this planet. But when you only think that you have value, you don't even recognize all of the different life. Like, there's people who don't even recognize dogs for being, they're, I don't want to say smart. They're smart, but they're evolved, but they are, it's almost like that they've figured out how to survive by kind of finding their place. It's not like to manipulate us, but they're smart enough to look at that. They've got their lives handed to them. All they got to do is just be sweet, and they get food, they get shelter. Some are treated poorly, and that's on those people. But most dogs, I think, I don't know all the percentages, but I would think most of them are, family friends, are companions, are loved beyond measure. And they get food, some eat better than others. They get to go on walks. They get companionship. Usually, they get other dogs that get to come and live with them. You know, they got a sweet deal going. They thought of that themselves. You know, I mean, we participated, but if they were all like brutal and biting us and you know, killing us in our house, they wouldn't be in our houses. So they are domesticated, but there's also wild dogs. So if you get what I mean, like there is animals out there that they have figured out how to survive. And so animals are conscious, they're beings, they're souls, and they're having an experience. Then you have ones that are ones that you can't even see, they're at a higher vibration, and ones that are lower vibration you don't have an awareness of, and ones at a higher vibration you don't have awareness of, because there's a lot of dark, deep energy that is low vibration that is just holding on to people like tar. And the people don't know that. They don't understand that. They don't know that their knees are hurting and their hips are hurting and everything is hurting, their shoulders, the weight of all this stuff. They don't realize what they're carrying and what they're trudging through, and how all of this energy is all around us, and how to remove yourself from that energy to release that would hold you back like that. So it is when you start having this awareness of this world, you start questioning this world, and you start seeing through the illusion, and you start realizing that there is so much more going on. Like there has been beings that have been living in this planet with us this whole time. Lots of different ones. There's ones that, I mean, there's a whole ton of stuff that is happening. And, you know, we have all been kind of, we think we're all like sophisticated, civilized animals or something, when really we've just been tricked. And we've just been being experimented on and tested on. And, you know, even in Hunger Games thing where they said that they would put them through these tests, you know, make it the hardest on these certain groups, because the strongest would survive. And that is what's going on here. It's the strongest mentally, the strongest in your health. Like I had said a long time ago, I said, you want to at least be in the condition that you can run for your life. I mean, if you're not even in the condition that you could run for your life a couple of blocks, then they have you right where they want you. You are the, you know, think about the herd. When the predator comes up and the herd takes off running, you know, the weakest are the ones who are the food. So you really got to start noticing, like I've said for so long. I mean, they've been fattening people up for the harvest. So, but people are just so stuck on believing this three-dimensional reality and looking through that lens at this whole reality. They look through the lens that they want you to look. They look through the scope. And even when you start breaking free, you will still have so much indoctrination. So that's why I talk about it's like reprogramming yourself, because you're so indoctrinated, and you still have to continually break free your own self to recognize. That's the awareness. Recognize, you know, it is kind of reactive. You know, like say for instance, somebody sees me and I have a lot of tattoos and stuff, and they look at me automatically and they see a drug addict, a prostitute, a fringe person, somebody who has nothing to offer, you know. That is an automatic response. That's conditioning. That's programming. You know, it's just a part of them keeping us all divided. Just the same thing with all this stupid Gen X and boomers and all that. I think that it is, you know, if you went in and you looked at their little science, you know how scientists keep those books and they write in. So I'm sure in some of these it's like, they probably do have us just labeled boomers, Gen X, Gen Z, whatever the hell they say. And then this social experiment and these chemicals and these toxins and what we've had for this many years and what we've had on top of that and where we're at now, and then each one they go through, and then they keep us all divided. They don't want us to get along. They don't want us to talk. They want all the young ones to think that we're the problem, and they want us to think they're the problem. Just like they want men to think women are the problem and women to think men are the problem. Just like they want the Mexicans to think the Chinese are the problem and the Chinese to think the Mexicans are the problem. Just like they want the white people to think the Muslims are the problem and the Muslims to think the white people are the problem. That's what they do. They don't want us to come together. They don't want us to see each other for who we are and to see us all as just human beings and accept one another, and to love one another. That's their worst nightmare. They know they're being defeated. They know that we're coming together, and it is a cosmic occurrence that is happening. It's happening out of our control, and every person is getting an opportunity to wake up because of this transition that is occurring. And not everybody is doing it at the same time, and not everybody, it's been said that not everybody will. It's been said that not everybody is going to survive this. And then when you go into, that we have this impending, it is impending, right? Cataclysmic event that's coming, that I think of as what is going to propel the earth into the new dimension, and if it's solar flash, it's going to propel. But I think it's already on the move. Like, things are changing. And I had also seen, so many people with so many Mandela effects and Stella, please stop. All of these different realities that are merging. And then when you start realizing that what these people are doing in order to stay in power, like they don't want to cease to exist. They're doing everything they can to go back and mess with timelines and stuff in order to change their outcome. But it won't work. Nothing will work because our vibration is raising. People's awareness is becoming, they're becoming aware. They're becoming connected to their higher self. They're becoming less isolated, more together in unity. And even if we're not right next to each other, our energy goes outside of us. Our energy is connecting all around us. And so, no matter what, this is happening. And, everything that is going on is for each individual to raise their own vibration, to stay a part of this planetary system as it ascends. But you have to raise out of that kind of low vibration hierarchy. There's so much rottenness that has been developed here that you're breaking free from. The reprogramming yourself, recognizing what is not good for you, and being tuned in to your higher self, who's always telling you, and they want to create this depraved, perverted, hopeless, helpless, empty feeling, cut off from your soul, video games where you're just disconnected. You just kill people all day long. You don't even think, nothing's real. Your brain just gets so absorbed into that, That's what they want. They want people to just become disconnected from their soul and hopeless and helpless because they've got all the answers, because they've got drugs that they'll give us. And what's so crazy is, like, on the corporate farms, when it started coming out that the overstock of the livestock they had in there, how sick the livestock was, and what they were actually feeding them, in some cases plastic and garbage and just all sorts of stuff, and then we're eating these animals that have no nutritional value. They're full of poisons and chemicals and stuff like that. Well, they're doing the same thing to us. They're filling us full of these same toxins and chemicals and stuff. But you have to, with your own awareness, recognize what's going on. Recognize that the foods that are making you sick. One thing that's really fun too is when you start getting into that part of taking care of yourself. Cooking is really fun. Cooking for yourself. There's so many people, I'm imagining a lot of obese people who eat all prepared food, and may not with restaurants and stuff all the time or fast food places right now. I don't know, but it's still a lot of boxed food that is not good for you. And then it has no nutritional value, so you're constantly hungry and you're always craving stuff because they put things in food to create cravings. So, that's why I say, if you are struggling with obesity, it was done to you on purpose. You participated, but it was still done to you on purpose. And you can take control of that. You can reverse that process, but you have to take control. You have to have awareness, take control, and start, thinking about healthy foods and thinking about movement in your body. Creating energy begets energy. So the more that you energize your body, the more energy you will have. But the more you kick in that system, cooking for yourself has got so much more nutritional value, even though, we still have all these poisons on our food. Even organic, they still figure out how to get poisons on them. They just want to charge you more because you want to be healthy. It's like everything is so backward. But anyways, the more that you go in and you start learning to cook for yourself, and there's so many people doing channels over, if you have no idea how to cook and stuff, oh my gosh, there's so many channels, so many TikTok ones even that do them real fast in 3 minutes, show you how to make a whole meal. And it's fun, and you feel good about yourself, and you know what you're eating. And there's only so much we can do about the toxins, but you don't have to just eat them all the time. You have to have discernment. You have to look at things. You have to weigh things out. You have to use logic. And in the whole thing with taking care of yourself, and it's just a complete reprogramming yourself. But there's so much information out there to help you along the way, and it's a great experience once you start doing it. You'll start having fun. You'll start enjoying it. You'll start having fun in life. Don't focus on all of the stuff they want to keep people arguing about, because there's a big cataclysmic event that is coming that is going to, change everything. And you don't want to be caught in that, cycle of transition, and then you are sent back to some other hellhole place. No, you want to have this healing that's, do your healing and get yourself so when the transition occurs, you can go right onto the new earth, the heaven on earth. It's going to be like magic. We're going to be our abilities and stuff. But just remember, not everybody can go. You can't just be out, robbing 7-Eleven, shooting people, and then, the next week you're up in the new earth. That's not the way it's going to go. You have to go in and see. You have to look at yourself and see, like, why am I doing these things? What? Am I so scared that I'm going to starve that I need to go in and kill this person? Am I have no abilities to leave the city, go out and find some place and grow my own food? Am I this desperate? There's a lot to look at for yourself. Every person, you just have to go in deeper and start realizing about yourself. And then when you start seeing your vulnerabilities, your own ignorance, and the things that you carry in yourself, it enlightens you, it helps you. It takes the monkey off your back, and it helps you to lift yourself and to be more your true, authentic self. But you have to accept these parts of yourself. And then if you have done shitty things, if you have, committed murders and crimes and stuff, you're not a throwaway person. You are a person who had not learned yet. And once you learn, then you have the ability, as long as you are still on this planet, you have the ability to redeem yourself, to do good works, to pull things back in balance. Every criminal that is in jail has that opportunity when they get out. Are they going to go back into a life of crime because that's easier? Or are they going to go into a life of serving to rebalance? And when you go into the rebalance and you go into a life of servitude, you find joy, you find happiness, you find something that when you were stealing and hurting people, you would have felt horrible about yourself. You would have felt like you were a bad person, and, just accepted yourself as somebody who was bad, a throwaway, somebody that nobody could love, nobody could want. Well, that is an energy that you are trapped in, like the tar. When you pull free from that, you start loving yourself, and you start seeing yourself through new eyes, see yourself through God's eyes, which God is in every single one of us. We all carry that part of God. And because we are God's fractals having experiences. We are that energy. That is what we are. And when you can start to recognize that you are a God particle, that you are loving, and you have to love yourself, then once you do that and you start going out and redeeming yourself, you start to find joy. You start to find happiness. You find completion. You find connection. You find unity. You find love. So, don't get stuck in like, well, I was a shitty person, so I won't be able to ascend. I may as well just continue being shitty. No, don't get trapped there. That is an illusion. All of everything has been an illusion. Everything they've told you has been an illusion. Death is an illusion. So really do your healing. Really try and understand, why do I do these things? That is how you release it, when you can recognize it. And a lot of times you have to go deeper. It's not on the surface. It's deep. That's why it's deep core wounds. It is wounds that you carry from past lives. It's wounds you carry from childhood. Go into those. Release those. Heal those wounds. And then start working on yourself and, redeeming yourself. And, you can make this life a beautiful experience, even if it's been just nothing but shit this whole time. So you got to learn to love yourself. You got to learn that you have the ability to make a choice, make a change. I'm going to say change and choice at the same time. Make a choice and a change every single day. Every day that you get up, you have that choice. You have that ability to do something different. And if all of your friends are, just crappy people, and you feel like you can't get other friends, you can. You would find acceptance. You are playing the part. You are participating. You're being that part of that group. You change in that group will reject you. You start changing. That's why people hide themselves. They aren't playing their true authentic selves. They hide themselves to be accepted by certain groups. So, the more that you can learn to love yourself, the more that you can find people that will love you too. So work on you, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.